Hey guys, it's Clinton Jeff from UnleashThePhones.com, and here's a quick video review of the HTC One X Plus. The HTC One X Plus is basically an improved version of the HTC One X. That was one of the first quad-core phones to be released this year. Since then, though, there have been the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the Optimus 4X HD by LG and the Optimus G, which are all a bit faster than this poor little bugger here. So they decided, hey, you know what? Let's release a faster One X, and that's what the HTC One X Plus is. It boasts a much faster 1.7 GHz quad-core Tiger 3 processor in the same polycarbonate design as the One X before it. It's quite a nice design, to be honest. It's slightly curved right there, which really fits your hand very well. And even though it's a large phone, it's easy enough to use, though getting to the corners of the screen might be a little hard. Basically, you have this phone in white, black, and gray colors. Just to give you a quick tour of the ports all around and the keys all around, you have the micro USB port right there, which can also support USB on the go right there on the side, and the volume keys right there, which are good enough to use, I guess. They might be a little hard to find in the beginning, but you do get used to it very easily. And at the top you have the metallic power button. It used to be a color-coded button before, but now you have a metallic button right there with the 3.5mm audio jack and a little pinhole to remove the micro SIM card right there. At the top of the screen you have a front-facing 2-megapixel camera right now, which is pretty decent and much better than the camera before it, and you have the micro drilled holes right there. You also have a notification light hidden right inside, and a proximity sensor and an ambient light sensor right there towards the left of the HTC logo. Don't think you can see that though, but there you go. At the bottom of the screen you have the usual capacitive buttons for home, back, and the recently used apps. Multitasking screen where you can close apps right from there. At the back you have the 8-megapixel camera module, which is the only thing that actually stands out at the back, and a single LED flash with the HTC and Beats Audio branding very prominent. You'll notice that there are red color accents everywhere, and that's the thing that also differentiates this from the HTC One X, the color-coded red accents right there. This is present on the white and the black version. It looks okay, I guess. I'm not too fond of the red accent, but I guess it looks kind of cool. Coming to the front, you have that excellent 4.7-inch display. It's a Super LCD2 display at 1280 by 720 resolution for a massive PPI of 312. It's actually one of the best screens on the market right now, in my opinion. You have great viewing angles all around, and the color reproduction is also pretty good. You also have Gorilla Glass 2 protecting this instead of Gorilla Glass 1 like on the One X before it. And just to give you a quick tour of the software, we did take a look at the software before in a separate video, which you can also check out. But you have Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, which is pretty good. It's very fast overall. You'll notice that there's no lag as such because of Project Butter, and you also see that there's a new drop down with which has Google Now integration right up to the top right there. So that's pretty cool. Google Now is by far one of my favorite features of Android Jelly Bean. There's also Google's voice search now, which works pretty well. What's the weather like?
It's 24 degrees with smoke in New Delhi.
So there you go, it works pretty well, and smooth enough as well. There are some minor tweaks here and there, like for example the gallery app is now slightly different because you have the option of viewing your pictures according to where they're stored. You can go to Facebook, go to Dropbox, or just go right onto your phone and see the new way where all the pictures are sorted according to the date and how they were taken. Very useful, I guess. It seems like information overload to me, but it's not too bad at all. Also worth pointing out is that the phone has brilliant performance. It's actually much faster than the Galaxy S3, and basically the benchmarks prove it very well. It is by far much faster than the HTC One X, and smoother overall. I'm not sure if this is because of the improved processor, it mostly is, I guess, or Project Butter, but it is really fast and smooth overall. There's no instances of lag as such anymore, which is definitely worth talking about, because that is one of my main issues with the first HTC One X. But yeah, you'll see that the benchmark scores are pretty well once this finishes up. You have 1 GB of RAM though, which is kind of the limiting factor in this case, because some other devices that have quad-core processors have 2 GB of RAM. But you also do have 64 GB of onboard storage, which is more than enough in this case. As you can see, the benchmark score is massive, 7,512 versus the One X, which is way back in comparison. So yeah, you do have 64 GB of onboard memory, which is more than enough for most people, I would assume. I haven't been able to fill up the 30 GB on my One X, so this is pretty huge. You don't have a micro SD card slot, unfortunately, so this is pretty much what you're stuck with, but it should be good enough for most people, I guess. Moving on to the browser, you have both Chrome and the standard old school browser built in. I'm not sure how many people would use the built-in browser, but it works pretty fine and loads up very quickly, and there's no lag as such. You can go to any of your favorite websites like Unleash the Phones, for example. Scrolling and panning around is very smooth, as you can see right there, but you can also toggle flash if you want. Of course, toggling flash will let you know that the plugin will consume more system memory and impact the browser performance. So if you really want to enable it, you can. I choose not to, but at least you have the option, so it's always there. Moving on to music. The music player is quite nice and very easy to figure out. It sorts your music according to where you get it from. It'll go to your last played track by default, but you also have TuneIn Radio and SoundCloud as well. It'll sort your music by artist or by albums and songs and playlists and such, and it works pretty well. The loudspeaker is actually pretty loud. It's slightly louder than the One X, so it is massively improved. My only issue with the One X was that the loudspeaker was a bit quiet, so this is much louder as well, so it should be good enough. There's also Beats audio built in, which I want to kind of show you if it will work out right now. Of course, you can only enable it if you have a pair of headphones plugged in, so I can't actually show you that feature right now, but it does make your music louder overall. There's a deeper bass and crisper vocals, which is what it's supposed to do, so it kind of does what it's supposed to do, I guess. Moving on to video, you do have support for DivX and Xvid files up to 1080p. Everything works pretty well, I guess. There's no lag as such when loading a video, and it works pretty well, and you can also scroll to any part of the song if you want to, or video. So and you can also take a screenshot in the video itself. Coming to the camera quality, you do have an 8 megapixel camera with 2.0 aperture and a single LED flash. The camera UI is basically the same as it was on the HTC One X before it, so nothing changed much over there. You do have more options to tweak though, and various scene modes as well. You also have HDR and panorama, and you can record video in slow motion, which is pretty cool. You also have HTC's image Sense chip, which does help with the taking a picture while you're recording a video, which is kind of cool, I guess. It comes in useful once in a while, maybe. Picture quality is pretty okay. Contrast and saturation is a little bit too high in my opinion. You can take pictures in HDR, which makes them better exposed. Indoor pictures are okay. The flash isn't very strong, if from about 5 feet away-ish. But video is pretty good. You can record at 1080p, and colors and saturation is okay. The autofocus can be a little bit moody though. There is continuous autofocus, but you can check out our camera samples for a better idea of that. Moving on, the battery is finally decent. Another issue I had with the original One X was that the battery life was pretty bad. I would have struggled to get home at the end of the day, and this time around battery life seems kind of okay. There's also a power saving mode that you can toggle right from the drop down bar right there, so that is also useful. Battery life seems okay. You can get through a day of moderate usage. To conclude, the HTC One X before it was a pretty fantastic phone. It had very few little flaws, but it had top-notch build quality, could have used a faster processor in my opinion, and battery life was pretty bad. with the One X Plus, that kind of solves all of his issues. You have a much faster processor, so it's a really fantastic phone. Battery life is also much improved right now, and Sense 4 Plus doesn't get in the way of the features of Android Jelly Bean. I think it's one of my favorite Android phones right now. The 64 GB of memory is very generous, and you have one of the best LCD screens in the market right now, right at the front, and you have Beats Audio to go along with it. Plus, the build quality is fantastic, and this can really take a beating. Not to mention that the design is also pretty nice as well. So yeah, that's my verdict, I guess. One of the best Android phones out there right now. Check out our detailed review over on unleashthephones.com for a better idea. Or if you have any questions, let us know right over in the comment section below.